Dozens of rockets have been fired at Israel from the Gaza Strip. The barrage comes after Israel launched a series of strikes into Gaza earlier in the day. Israel says it was targeting the Islamic Jihad militant group and was eliminating an imminent threat. Now, Palestinian authorities say at least 10 people were killed in the strike and dozens more injured.
Israeli forces target an apartment building in Gaza City, just one of many airstrikes launched into the coastal strip. Israel says the attacks were in response to an imminent threat from the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group. The strikes come after Israeli forces arrested a senior militant in the West Bank early this week.
Israel carried out a precise counter-terror operation against an immediate threat. Our fight is not with the people of Gaza. Islamic Jihad is an Iranian proxy that wants to destroy the state of Israel and kill innocent Israelis. The head of Islamic Jihad is in Tehran as we speak. We will do whatever it takes to defend our people.
An Islamic Jihad commander was killed in the strikes, and the group vowed to retaliate.
This is a declaration of all-out war against the Palestinian people. We will respond to that. This is a violation and disregard for all the efforts that have been made over the past days in order to restore calm. We dealt positively with these efforts, but the enemy was, as usual, treacherous and carried out this raid. And now we clearly say that we will respond to this crime with all our might.
As a 5-year-old girl is mourned, fears of an escalation are rising. Palestinian militants fired rockets into Israel as night fell.
Let's join DW correspondent Tanya Kremer in Jerusalem. Welcome, Tanya. What's the latest?
Well, air raid sirens have gone off in several communities and cities in the south and center of Israel after Palestinian militant groups retaliated with rocket barrages into the south and the center of the country. There have been interceptions by the Iron Dome, the Israeli defense system. Now, this comes, of course, as we heard also in the report, after Israel launched airstrikes into the Gaza Strip in the afternoon. So far, the health ministry in Gaza, the Palestinian health ministry, puts the numbers of 10 people killed, among them a young child and also a senior commander of the Islamic Jihad, a smaller militant faction in the Gaza Strip, which is ruled by Hamas, and over 55 people injured. But of course, we're expecting this number to rise as also Israel is continuing to carry out airstrikes, as it says, against Palestinian Jihad military targets. Now, we heard also the Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid speaking to the Israeli public and basically saying, you know, this operation will take as long as it takes. Israel has also called up 25,000 reservists from the army. They have reinforced the troops around Gaza, put, you know, the Iron Dome system, and opened up bomb shelters, mainly in the areas surrounding the Gaza Strip.
Right, so this sounds like quite a significant mobilization. What more has been said about this imminent threat that Israel said it was defending itself? Why is this happening now?
Well, there has been a build-up here in tensions and threats and warnings, but there were also mediation efforts by Egypt. Now, this comes after Israel's military actually arrested a senior leader of the Islamic Jihad in the northern West Bank, in the occupied West Bank in Jenin. There have been a lot of raids in the area by the military, and Israel had said that they're anticipating some kind of retaliation by Islamic Jihad. There have been mediation efforts between the militant factions in Gaza and Israel through Egypt and other players, but it didn't seem to have made a difference right now, because then we saw these rather unexpected airstrikes by Israel on targets this afternoon on Gaza.
And you've described what sounds like a significant mobilization of Israeli forces. Does this risk escalating into another war?
Well, I think it's still too early to say whether this will be, what Israel usually calls an operation. Will it be an all-out war? Will it be days or weeks? I think the main thing here, it will be devastating for civilians that will be again caught, like multiple times. There have been 4 wars between Hamas and Israel, 4 wars on Gaza and the civilian population there. Let's not forget, this is also a small territory which has been blockaded by Israel and partly by Egypt for almost 15 years now. So for civilians there, this will be very, very difficult. There's a lot of worry as well as for civilians, of course, also in the south of Israel. They will have to stay in their bomb shelters. So there's a lot of worry among people here, what will happen here in the next hours.
Okay, thank you for that, Tanya Kramer in Jerusalem.